Hi, welcome to the IR Magazine Small Cap Forum and Awards here at the OTC Markets offices. I'm joined by Jason Paltrowitz, Executive Vice President of OTC Markets. Thanks for joining us, Jason.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Jason, OTC has been a great sort of partner to IR Magazine on our small cap coverage, and also this is the second year of the forum and the awards. Can you talk to us about why this is important for you as a company?
Small caps generally are important, and not just important, but I think we're passionate about it. Between our OTC QB and QX markets, we are the home to over 1,000 small cap companies. And small cap companies face very unique challenges, as we talked about today. And we really do, pride ourselves on trying as hard as we can to help support the ecosystem of small caps, whether that's through initiatives like this with IR Magazine, or things that we do with the regulators to try to advance the cause of small caps, or simply just providing a market where small caps are better served. You tend to find companies get orphaned on the big major exchanges, and here is a home where companies can learn to be public, can learn to grow, can learn the do's and don'ts of public company, and can be with small cap companies like themselves to kind of learn the fine art of being a public company. So we really are passionate about it. We really do spend a good portion of our time focused on it, and working with IR Magazine to promote that is just, makes it even better.
Great, and it's been a day of sort of great content and great takeaways. You participated in an excellent panel on kind of what the street wants from small and micro cap companies. I'd love to know what your kind of key takeaways were from that panel.
There are a couple. Number one is that the issues that large cap companies face, and specifically around MiFID II and research, are significantly different than those of small caps. Small caps have to be scrappy. You got to work twice as hard to get half as much. But a couple of the key takeaways. One would be that you can be creative and still get to what you need, right? Are you going to get research coverage at the big wirehouses? Probably not. But can you get noticed by those firms? Absolutely. If you're creative and you think about your strategy for kind of targeting investors and the sell side. I think the second thing that came out of it, and something that small cap companies face just because of lack of resource, is consistency around being public companies. And what I mean by that is, some of the basic blocking and tackling that a GE doesn't have to worry about is making sure your filings are on time, making sure that you're consistent in when you notify the street of certain events, making sure that your press releases are out in a timely fashion, and that they're out for bad things as well as good things. When you're a small company, a micro cap or small cap, and you're kind of running on bootstraps, some of those things can kind of fall by the wayside. But those are the real important things that companies need to focus on as they come up the food chain in order to be successful.
Sure, and one of the things that we talked about as well was how small and micro caps can identify the types of conferences they want to target and the types of analysts and so on. Can you give us a bit of a perspective in terms of, OTC Markets as a company speaks to, as you say, hundreds and if not thousands of listed companies. So how are you kind of positioned to help companies navigate that topic?
Well, I think OTC Markets is unique, in that we are the home, as I said, to over 1,500 public companies on our QX and QB markets. But more importantly, we're a small cap company, right? We're a 350 some odd market cap company facing the same issues that our clients are facing. And so for us, we tackle what conferences to go to and what institutions to target and how do we talk to investors. And if you take our knowledge and know-how of coming up, we grew up to be 350 million market cap. It wasn't always that way. And then what our companies are doing, you meld those together, and I really think you have a team of people here at this company that really understands the do's and don'ts. We have a great staff of people that have worked at exchanges, people that have worked at IR firms, people that have worked in large caps and big broker dealers, and all of us together with our companies to really kind of understand the ecosystem in which we operate. And I think sometimes companies are timid to use the resources that are available to them, but we pride ourselves in being able to kind of offer that expert opinion and analysis on the topic.
Sure, great. And final question, you alluded to MiFID II and the kind of unique challenge that that throws up for small and micro cap companies. Any recommendations? It's still kind of early days as to how it's affecting companies in North America, but interested in your thoughts.
You know, JP Morgan in London is not going to do something different than JP Morgan in New York. And I'm picking on JP Morgan, but any of the large brokerage houses. And so I think we all need to be ready for the fact that they're going to globalize their approach to this topic. And unfortunately, that's going to mean that the smaller you are as a company, and that goes from the smallest large caps to mid caps down to small and micro caps, you're not going to be in that coverage universe anymore. And so you really, as I said before, have to be creative. One of the things that we think is going to grow and that is important to start looking at is kind of sponsored research. You know, how do you look at sponsored research providers effectively and honestly, and how do you judge what's good and bad? But there are good providers out there that companies should be looking at and should be thinking about using to kind of get that message out, you know, for lack of the traditional sell-side coverage.
Sure. Well, thank you, Jason, for joining us, and thank you to OTC for your continued support of our small cap events and coverage.
Thank you for having us.
Cheers. Thanks.